Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired and sleepy. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is February 4th, 2023. It's Saturday and sunny outside. How are you spending Saturday today? Do you have a work today? Or is it a day off today? Do you have a work or a school today? I think some people have a work on Saturdays and Sundays, and some students also have a school activity on Saturdays too, if they belong to club activity or if they have a special class on Saturday. I remember going to school on Saturdays too for the practice of club activity. Did you belong to a club activity like baseball, soccer, tennis, and so on? If I could restart my life again, if I could go back to high school era, I would study more. And maybe I would not belong to any club activity in order to devote all my life, all my time to the studying. If you could restart your life, what would you be? If you could restart your life again, where would you go back to? From where would you like to start your life? If you could restart your life again, where would you restart your life again? From. If you could restart your life again, where would you like to restart your life from? Adolescence is a very important formative years. Adolescence is a very important formative years. Formative year. Formative year of personality and so on. Formative years of growth. Growth. Yes. Being in a difficult situation is a formative years of growth. I think so. I think being in a difficult situation is a formative years, formative duration of growth. Formative. Formative years, formative duration, formative duration, formative duration, formative duration. Adolescence is a very important duration, years. Adolescence is the formative years of personality, character, growth, and so on. Adolescence is the formative years of many things, such as character, personality, and so on. Formative years. Formative years. Formative years. Formative. Could you make a sentence using formative? Could you make sentences using formative? Formative process of the production. Formative process in the production. Formative section. Formative section. Formative process in the production. Formative process in the assembly. Formative process in the course. Formative course. Formative course. We learn a lot of things in the formative course, formative process, before we become an adult. We learn many things during the formative years. We learn a lot of things in the formative years. Formative. Adolescence is a very important duration, very important formative years of many things such as personality, character, and so on. Formative process, formative process in the course, formative process in the life, formative process in adolescence. Formative process in adolescence, formative process, formative course in the adolescence, formative. Could you give me 2 or 3 sentences by using formative, because I cannot make a good one. Formative. Being in a difficult situation is the formative years of growth, I think. I think being in a difficult situation is the formative years of growth. There is expression. Adversity builds character. There is an expression. Adversity builds character. So in that meaning, being in a difficult situation will be the formative years of growth. Formative process in the education. Formative important duration of the growth. Adolescence is very important formative years of growth. Formative. Adolescence is the formative years of many things. Adolescence is the formative years of many things, such as characters, height, personality, interest, and so on. Adolescence is formative years of many things. Adolescence is the many formative years of many things. Adolescence is the formative years of many things. Formative. Formative. I'm amazingly sleepy now. I'm feeling amazingly sleepy now. Some people have amazingly skills at something. Some people are amazingly talented. 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 The appetite of the customer was amazing. The attraction was amazing. When I went to Universal Studios Japan, all of the attractions were amazing. I was amazed by the attractions in USJ, Universal Studios Japan. I'm sure you will also be amazed by the attractions. The attraction of Backdraft was so amazing. The fire felt so hot. The amazing appetite of the customer astonished the chef and the customers around. Some people never fail to astonish us. Some people have special aura enough to amaze us naturally, without effort. Are you good at amazing others? Do you like to amaze others in a good way, in a good meaning, in a good sense? Do you like to amaze others in a good meaning, in a good meaning, in a good sense, in a good way? Don't get in my way. The obstacles on the road were in the way of the commuters. In the commuter's way. In the commuter's way. In the way of commuters. I'm planning to amaze my friend with surprise present today. I am planning to amaze my friend with surprise present today. I've already planned it with my friends. I was amazed by sudden change of his mind. I was amazed by his sudden change of his mind. Everybody was amazed by the sudden change of his mind. Everybody was surprised. Everybody was amazed by the sudden transition. Those who can match to the transitional era will survive. In every era, those who can match to the changing environment in the transitional society will survive. Those who can match to the changing society in the transitional society will survive. If you are looking for amusement, why don't you go to the amusement park? If you are searching for further amusement, why don't you go to the amusement park? The haunted house there is amazing. You will not be able to come out of the hospital haunted house. You will go ahead with the flashlight, and it takes time to go out of the hospital. Amazement. I'd like to share the amazement with you. Amazement with you. I cannot describe how amazing it was. I cannot describe by words. It's beyond the reach of description. It's beyond description. Do you usually overreact? No. But this time the amazement was so huge. I cannot help expressing my amazement. I cannot help but express my amazement. Due to the recession, the company was obliged to reduce the number of employees. The number of tourists reduced drastically, tremendously, exponentially after the pandemic. The reduction of sales figures of the company led to the reduction of the number of employees. The reduction of motivation will happen, come about, as the time passes. But can you keep the motivation? Can you keep the same high motivation as you had at first? Can you keep the motivation as you had in the motivation? Can you keep the motivation? Can you keep the high motivation as you had in the first place? Can you keep the high motivation that you had in the first place? I hope the reduction in revenue will not happen. Reduction in number. Do you like to add, subtract, divide, multiply? I don't like everything. I like none of them. I like. I like none of them. None of the buses go to center. No buses go to the center. None of the buses go to center. There are only 2 lanes at the Kansai International Airport, and both trains go to Izumi-Sano Station. And from Izumi-Sano Station, the trains are divided. The ones going north and south. So if you take a train at random, nothing. Because there are many lanes in Izumi-san stations. I usually go to Osaka, downtown of the Osaka by train, by Nankai line from Kansai International Airport. Maybe I took a bus maybe twice or once. If you like to see the landscape from a bus, I recommend you go to the downtown of Osaka by bus. But I prefer to take train because I easy to get motion sick. Reduction in number, reduction in revenue, reduction in motivation, reduction of the boom, reduction in the popularity will happen with time, over time. But some people are keeping the high popularity for a long time. Some people can keep the high popularity for a long time. What are the common things in them? What are the common things in them? What are the common things in them who can keep the high popularity for a long time? I'd like to change my lifestyle. It is said changing the place where we live is the best thing to change ourselves, it is said. It is said that changing the place where we live is the best way to change ourselves. So if you'd like to change yourself, it's better to change the environment by moving to another place where you live. I'm moving to somewhere where we haven't lived. Lifestyle. I'd like to change my lifestyle. My sleeping time is getting later. My sleeping time is getting later. I'd like to change the lifestyle. I'd like to go to bed early and get up early. But my sleeping time is getting later because I started to get busy. I tend to deal with duties at night, so which make me sleep later. So I'd like to change the lifestyle. Maybe I should deal with the work duty early in the morning by sleeping early at night. Lifestyle. Lifestyle is usually related to many things: disease, stress, and so on. I strongly recommend you visit Kabila Bay in Ishigaki Island because I was impressed by the beauty of the Kabira Bay. I cannot describe how beautiful it was, but it was amazing. It was breathtaking beauty. It was breathtaking beauty. As far as I know, swimming in Kabira Bay is prohibited in order to keep the cleanness. But you can take the tour boat to see the water from the boat, I think. The water was as beautiful as swimming pool. The color of the blue was beyond description. It was too beautiful. It was breathtakingly beautiful. So I strongly recommend you visit Kabira Bay, Ishigaki Island. I took a bus from Ishigaki Station to the Kabira Bay. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring my driving license, so I was obliged to take public transportation such as bus, bicycle, and so on. I've never been overweight. I don't know how to get fat. Even if I eat a lot, I cannot be overweight. I cannot overweight. How can I get fat? I think this is my body system. Even if I eat a lot, I cannot be overweight. Even if I eat a lot, I cannot be overweight. This is my body system. I think many girls envy this body system. I think many people might envy this body system. If the suitcase is overweight, more than 20 kilograms, you have to pay extra usually. Because the free, usually 20 kilograms is a standard criteria to be able to bring for free. If the weight is beyond the amount, we usually have to pay extra. But it changes. But the rule changes if you, depending on the contract, depending on the classes of the seat, such as business class, first class. If we take business or first classes, the free amount are usually increased. I forgot the exact amount of the kilograms, but it's more than 20 kilograms. In economy class, 20 kilograms is usually set as a border to be able to bring for free, to be able to deposit for free. Recent elevators notify us of the overweight by ringing the bell or sounding something. If the weight is overweight, the elevator notifies us by ringing the bell, sounding the alarm. If the weight is overweight, the elevator notifies us of that by sounding alarm. If the weight is overweight in the elevator, it notifies us of that by sounding alarm. If the weight of the elevator is overweight, it notifies us by sounding the alarm. The boxer was 100 gram overweight. 100 gram overweight. The boxer was 100 gram overweight. The boxer was 100 gram overweight. So he was obliged to reduce the weight within a few hours. The elevator sounded an alarm because it was few kilograms overweight. The elevator sounded the alarm because it was few kilograms overweight. The elevator sounded an alarm because it was a few kilograms overweight. I threw away some of the stuffs in the suitcase because it was 500 gram overweight. 500 gram overweight. I was obliged to throw some things away because it was 500 gram overweight. Although it was summer, I wore 2 or 3 clothes more in order to reduce the weight of the suitcase because it was 500 gram overweight. Although it was summer, I wore 3 or 4 more clothes in me in order to reduce the amount of the suitcase because it was 500 gram overweight. But it was solved. The problem was solved by wearing more clothes in me. The tires of the car went flat because it was overweighted. It was 30 kilograms overweighted. Some cars are overweighted. Please do not overweight the cabinet, otherwise it will collapse. Please make sure that the cabinet is under the stuff is below on the cabinet are under 200 kilometers, otherwise it might collapse. Please make sure that the stuffs put on the cabinet are in total under 200 kilograms, otherwise it might collapse. Please make sure that the things put on the cabinet are not overweighted. Please make sure that the cabinet is not overweighted. Please make sure that the cabinet is not overweighted. Please make sure that the cabinet is not overweighted. The bar supporting the things by attaching to the wall collapsed because it was overweighted. The extension bar collapsed because it was overweighted. I sometimes see some cars overweighted, with stuffed with a lot of belongings, maybe for moving. I sometimes see a car stuffed with many belongings inside. Maybe they are moving. Maybe they were moving. I sometimes see a car overweighted. Please make sure that the cabinet is not overweighted. Please do not overweight me. Please do not overweight your junior colleagues. We should be treated fairly. We should be fair to everybody. The suitcase was overweighted, 200 grams beyond the limitation, 20 kilograms. The luggage was overweighted, 200 grams beyond the limitation, 20 kilograms. The luggage was 200 grams overweighted beyond the limitation, 20 kilograms. Overweight. The luggage was overweighted, 200 grams. The luggage was 200 grams overweighted. 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 I was obliged to wear 3 or 4 more clothes around me in order to reduce the weight of the luggage because it was about 300 grams overweighted. Overweight of the luggage is subject to extra fee. Please bear that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Overweight of the suitcase is subject to extra fee. Healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, a moderate amount of food, eating moderate amount of food, and regular exercise are the ways to keep in shape, to stay in shape, and the ways prevent us from getting overweight. Exercising regularly, limit the amount of food we eat. Then having a healthy lifestyle are the ways uh, help us preventing help us prevent from getting fat and overweight. Exercising regularly, eating healthy food and moderate amount of food, and having a healthy lifestyle are the ways to avoid overweight, 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 overweight. To my surprise, the fighter was 10 kilogram overweight, and he lost the right to fight in the match. To everyone's surprise, the fighter was 10 kilogram overweight. 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 What is your determination for 2023? Like having a healthy diet? Why is the word diet is used for the like parliament or congress in Japan? The diet house is like congress or parliament. Japan adopts the diet system, the diet house. The diet house is divided into two parts, the House of Representatives and the House of Councillors. Upper house and lower house. Upper house, the House of Councillors, and the lower house, the House of Representatives. Those party getting more than half in the election will be the ruling party and take the control of the politics. Are you on a diet? I think diet makes us more stressful, so eating normal amount of food with regular exercise might be better. Thinking about diet will make us eat more. Thinking about diet will make us eat more. Thinking about diet will make us eat more. Will make us eat more. When I went to Tokyo, I wanted to take a tour of the diet house, but it was closed, unfortunately. Emergency meeting. was held during when I was there, unfortunately. Although I went there all the way from Osaka. Have you tried a diet? Have you tried a diet? Are you going to on a diet? She ate a lot of food before going on a diet. She ate a lot of food before going on a diet. She ate a lot of food the day before going on a diet. She ate a lot of food before the day before going on a diet. In the hospital, you will be dieted. Can you diet yourself? Can you diet yourself? Is your will strong enough to diet yourself? Is your will strong enough to diet? The food videos on YouTube will tempt you to eat at night. So removing distractions from around you is one of the keys to make your diet successful. It won't be until we break our health that we might try to eat healthy diet. It won't be until we break our health that we might try to eat have healthy diet. It won't be until we break our health that we might try to have a healthy diet. It won't be until we break our health that we might try to have a healthy diet. Can you diet on your own without any help from others? Can you diet on your own without any help from others? Unless you are surrounded by surveillance, you will eat. Unless you are surrounded by surveillance, we are sure that you will eat. We are sure you cannot diet on your own. I used to diet, which made me eat more, so I don't diet anymore. I used to diet a few times, which made me eat more, so I never diet anymore. I eat what I like. But in return for eating what I want, I try to cover cover that with other things. For example, having exercise, sleeping enough, and so on. In return for eating everything that I like, I try to cover the minus points by doing exercise, sleeping enough, drinking a lot of water, and so on. And we can cover the minus points at somewhere with some chips, with some weights. We cannot make everything perfect. Are you on a diet? Is it successful? Is it going well? How is it going? How is your diet going? How is your diet going? How is your diet going? Is it being successful so far? Is it being successful so far? Diet. Giving us a prize is a good way when we achieve the diet. And then we can try to do our best in order to get a prize. And setting a goal and the prize when we achieve the diet is a good way for diet. Setting a goal and prizes that we can get when we achieve the diet. It's good. The food that we can eat is limited during the diet. Are you on a diet? Tofu can be usually eaten anytime during on a diet. Very healthy. I used to be dieted. I used to be dieted in the hospital. When I was hospitalized in the hospital, I was dieted. I used to be dieted in order to treat my disease. Unless doctor or others supervise you the food that you can eat, you will not be able to control yourself. In the hospital, the doctor and nurses dieted what I eat, dieted me. But I'm not confident that I can control myself when I was released from the hospital. It was going well when I was at the hospital because the nurses and the hospital dieted me. But I'm not confident that I can do the same thing when I'm alone at home. When I was at the hospital, the nurses and doctors dieted me, and I could control what I ate. But I am not confident that I can do the same thing after after I am released from the hospital. When I'm in hospital now, the doctors and nurses diet me, and I am obliged to eat what is served at the hospital. Everything is controlled. But I'm not confident that I can control myself and eat healthy food when I'm at home after being released from hospital. Peers, the diet you are very important, essential, indispensable. When we are alone, nobody diets me. No one diets us, which makes me easier to eat whatever we want. When we are alone, nobody will diet us. No one will diet us, which make us eat everything, eat whatever we want, eat whatever we want. When I was at the hospital, I was dieted in order to treat my disease, which was helpful. But once I was released from the hospital, but once I am released from the hospital, I'm not sure that I can control myself. I want somebody to diet me. I want somebody to diet me. I would like 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 somebody to diet me. I'd 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 like somebody to diet me. Can you diet yourself with your will? I'm sure my will is not strong enough to diet me without help. I'm sure that my will is not so strong enough to diet me without any help. I'm certain that my will is not strong enough to diet me without any help. I'm confident that my will is not strong enough to diet me without any help. Dietary education. I remember having a dietary education with the cook 2 or 3 times a year at school. I remember taking a dietary education with the cooks 2 or 3 times in a year. I remember having a dietary education with a cook in a different classroom 2 or 3 times a year. I remember having a dietary education with a cook in a different room and ate the lunch together 2 or 3 times a year. I remember having a dietary education with a cook in a different room and ate lunch together. Dietary fiber, dietary fiber, dietary fiber, dietary fiber. Dietary. Dietary education, dietary knowledge, dietary knowledge. Do you have a lot of dietary knowledge? Do you have much of dietary knowledge? Dietary education. I am lack of dietary education. I am lack of sort of dietary knowledge. I am lack of dietary knowledge. I am short of dietary knowledge. I am short of dietary knowledge. I used to eat a lot of snacks, sweets, and other food, which are bad for my health, because for want of dietary knowledge, for short of dietary knowledge, for want of dietary knowledge, for short of dietary knowledge. How much is alcoholic range of sake? It ranges from 15 to 20%. I see. If you go to the basement of the department store, there are usually alcoholic beverages sold, including sake and shochu, distilled alcoholic beverages. Do you like alcoholic beverages? Do you like alcoholic beverages? No, I don't like any alcoholic beverages, including everything. I like this type of body if, because I can live without alcohol. Because I can live without alcohol. I don't afraid of driving with alcohol. I don't need to worry about drunk driving because I never drink alcohol. Alcoholic. Alcoholic liquid is sometimes added to a cuisine as a special taste for special accent to the taste. As a special accent to the taste. Are you an alcoholic? I heard that it is super difficult to stop drinking for alcoholic. I heard that it is super difficult for an alcoholic to stop drinking. I heard that it is very difficult for an alcoholic to stop drinking. alcoholic, 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 alcoholic. What is the mechanism of becoming an alcoholic? If we don't know the taste of the alcohol, we won't be an alcoholic. How can we become an alcoholic? Do you know the mechanism or the way how we become alcoholic? Do you know the mechanism of why we become an alcoholic? Alcoholic, 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 alcoholic. I don't like alcohol, any alcohol. I don't like every alcohol. I don't like any alcohol. Now it is common to decontaminate our hands with the alcohol at the entrance, set up at the entrance, and take our temperature with a machine. Now it is common to decontaminate our hands with alcohol, set up at the entrance, and take our temperature at the entrance. Alcohol. The typhoon prevented me from going outside. The pandemic prevented many of us from traveling. The pandemic prevented us from going abroad. The pandemic prevented us from traveling. The scary news prevented me from traveling. The scary truth prevented me from taking a lot of sugar. The scary truth prevented me from intaking sugar. Having a regular exercise, having a healthy lifestyle, and sleeping enough are the ways to prevent us from getting disease. But it is just an prevention and not perfect ones. Prevention. Regular exercise is often adopted by many people as a prevention from getting disease, developing disease, and so on. Having exercise, such as walking, is common way to prevent us from developing disease. Having an exercise is often adopted by many people as a prevention from developing a disease. What can I do as the prevention from developing a disease? What can I do as a prevention from getting into trouble with people? What can I do as a prevention from being stuck in traffic jam? Leaving our house early is a prevention from getting into the traffic jam. Leaving our house early is a prevention from getting stuck in traffic jam. Leaving early is a prevention from being stuck in traffic jam. The higher riverbank is just an prevention from tsunami. It's not perfect. The higher riverbank is nothing other than a prevention from tsunami. It's not perfect. It has a possibility. A tsunami has the potential to overflow the fence, the riverbank. But we can take time. We can save time to escape. The higher riverbank is nothing other than a prevention from tsunami. The higher fence, the higher riverbank is nothing but a prevention from tsunami. It is not perfect prevention, but we can save time. And tsunami has the potential to overflow beyond the fence, overflow the bank, overflow the bank. The tsunami has the potential to overflow the bank. The higher riverbank, is nothing other than a prevention from tsunami. Prevention. Wearing a mask is nothing other than a prevention from getting infected with the virus. It's but not perfect. Wearing a mask is nothing other than a prevention. Wearing a mask is nothing but a prevention. Many things can be done as prevention. Even a measure was not taken as a prevention. That's why the accident happened. Even a measure was not taken place. Even a measure was not taken as a prevention. We made every measure as we could imagine. Let's take every measure that we can imagine, that we can come up with as prevention. Let's take every measure. Let's take every measure as possible as we can. Let's take as many measures as we can as prevention. Let's make as many measures as possible. Let's make as every measure as possible. Let's make as every measure as we can as prevention. Let's make as many preventive measures as possible. Let's take as many preventive measures as we can. What preventive measures can you imagine to escape tsunami or natural disaster? What preventive measures can we take beforehand, before natural disaster happens? What preventive measures can we take before natural disasters happen? What preventive measures can we take before natural disaster happens? Natural disaster come about, outbreak. Come about, outbreak, allows, happen. What preventive measures can we take before natural disasters? When it comes to tsunami, we can create a tower so that we can escape to higher grounds. Or make the height of the bank or a fence higher. Preventive. Wearing a mask is a preventive measure. Wearing a mask is nothing but a preventive measure. Wearing a mask is nothing but a preventive measure. Wearing a mask is nothing but a preventive measure. Wearing a mask is a preventive measure. Preventive. Wearing a mask is a preventive measure. Preventive measure. Wearing a mask is nothing but a preventive measure. Nothing other than a preventive measure. Many things could have been preventable. Many things were preventable. If you had obeyed what you were told by your parents, the accident would have been preventable. If you had had the knowledge at that time, the problem would have been preventable. If the current technology, which was recently come up with the researchers, had existed at that time, the disease would have been preventable. If I had known the knowledge, the mistake would have been preventable. Preventable. And there are many diseases which are not preventable. Many things are preventable beforehand, which make the risk lower. Many diseases are preventable beforehand by having a healthy lifestyle, by leading a healthy lifestyle. I'm anything but genius. I'm everything but English freak, English nerd, English geek, English anorak, English mania. You are anything but a foolish. You are anything but a tennis player. She's more of a nurse than a teacher. She is not so much a teacher as a nurse. She is not so much a teacher as a nurse. He is not so much a fighter as a comedian. He is not so much a boxer, but a comedian. He is not so much a fighter as a comedian. He is not so much a fighter as a doctor, as a comedian. He is not so much a fighter as a comedian. He is not so much a fighter as a comedian. I am anything but genius. I am anything but genius. I am anything but clever. I am anything but clever. I am anything but clever. I am clumsy. I am I am more clumsy than clever. Skillful. I am more clumsy than skillful. Preventable. Preventable. Common cold is preventable by having a healthy lifestyle, washing hands, rinse our mouth and throat after coming from outside, and so on. Basic preventable prevention. Basic prevention from common cold and other diseases are washing our hands, rinse our mouth and throat after coming back from outside. Many things are preventable. Preventable. Preventable disease. Preventable disease. Preventable disease. Preventable. 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 Preventable disease, such as common cold. Preventable. The medical students are learning about cancer, such as colon cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, terminal cancer, and so on. I hope the medical progress will eradicate cancer perfectly in the near future. The medical students are learning colon cancer. The medical students are learning colon cancer at the class now. The medical students are learning colon cancer now. The medical student asked about colon cancer to the professor. I could not make heads or tails of the lecture of the colon cancer at all. So may I call on you tonight to ask some questions in person? I'd like to have a word with you privately. I'd like to have a word with you privately. I will get back to you. I will get back to you later. Okay? I'm so busy now. I will get back to you later. See you. I'm so busy now. I'll get back to you later. I'll get back to you later. I could not next to understand the lecture by the professor. I could not next to understand, figure out, comprehend, apprehend, take in the lecture of colon cancer by the professor. Colon cancer. Alcohol use. Please refrain from alcohol use. The doctor told me that I should refrain from alcohol use. The doctor ordered that I should refrain from alcohol use. The doctor strongly ordered that I refrain from alcohol use. The amount of alcohol use. If you cannot stop drinking, at least reduce in the amount of alcohol use. If you cannot stop drinking, you should at least reduce in the amount of alcohol use. I'm concerned about my physical inactivity. I know I have to exercise, but I cannot. I'm lazy. I know I have to exercise regularly, and I'm concerned about my physical inactivity. I'm concerned about physical inactivity. There were some students who were active only in physical education. There were some students who were active only in physical education. Physical education. There were some students who were active only in physical education. Physical inactivity. If you are concerned about your physical inactivity, why not come join us? Come join our exercise party. What is exercise party? If you are concerned about your physical inactivity, why not join our bicycle tour? If you are concerned about your physical inactivity, why not join our bicycle tour? Bike tour. It's not demanding and easy. Everyone is welcome. Physical inactivity. If you are worried about physical inactivity, why not join our bike tour? Physical inactivity. Physical inactivity. Physical inactivity. And one of the determinations for 2023 is to overcome my physical inactivity. My will was strong enough at that time already. Our will might fade out with time. Our will of something might fade out with time. The Cram School features individual will. Individual personality or taste should be respected at school. Individual taste or personality should be respected. Individual taste should be respected. Individual opinion. Is individual opinion reflected in the politics? I'm wondering if the individual will or opinion are reflected in the politics. I'm often said, take it easy, everything will be fine. I'm often said, take it easy. I often hear it said, not take it easy. I often hear it said, take it easy. Take it easy. The scammer assured the old lady that she could get the 3 times the amount of money she deposited. The scammer assured the old lady that she could get the 3 times the amount of the money she deposited. The scammer assured the old couple that they would be able to get 3 times the amount of the money they deposited. But it turned out to be false. It turned out to be false. It proved to be false. The bag was proven to be false. The bag was turned out to be false. He was proven to be innocent. He was proven to be innocent. The judge sentenced the man to 3 years in prison. I'm recently letting go of many unwanted things, including websites, clothes, and so on. I know it can be difficult to let go of some memorable things. I can understand. It can be very difficult to let go of some things which used to be important in the past, but we never use it now. Let's let go of unwanted documents which we never use. Letting go of unwanted things is a little boom now, which is called danshari in Japanese. I'm recently letting many things go. 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 I am recently letting many things go. The result was negative or positive. Was the result negative or positive? How soon can I know the result? Of whether or not I am a positive or negative? I try to be positive. I heard that successful people are trying to be positive even in difficult situations. I heard that successful people try to be positive even in difficult situations. Try not to have negative posture. I'd like to know your outlook on the future. I'd like to know your outlook on the future. Many people know the outlook of the future by the celebrity, the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur is relied on. Many people would like to refer to the opinions by the entrepreneur. My outlook on English study was totally different when I was junior high school student, and I still the same. My outlook on English study was totally different from others. My outlook on English study was already different from others when I was junior high school student. I didn't study English only for entering university or examinations. I studied English for myself, so my outlook on English study was totally different from others already when I was junior high school student. What food do you like? What food do you like? What do you like to do in your spare time? What do you like to do in your spare time? A glass of water. Nothing might not be fair to everybody. What is the best way, do you think, to evaluate students? What do you think is a fair way to evaluate students? What is the fair way to evaluate people in terms of salary? What do you think is the fair way to decide salary of the employees? We should be fair to everybody. We should be fair to everybody, regardless of gender, age, and so on. We should be fair to everybody. We should be treated fairly. Regardless of heavy rain, we enjoyed baseball. Regardless of heavy rain, we enjoyed playing tennis outside. In spite of heavy rain, we enjoyed surfing. In spite of heavy rain, we enjoyed surfing. Despite heavy rain, we enjoyed soccer outside. Regardless of exhaustion, I was obliged to work overtime. In spite of exhaustion, I was made to work until 10 o'clock p.m., which made me stay in a capsule hotel nearby. Where is your national origin? My national origin is Japan. My nationality is Japanese. Where is your national origin? I'm from Japan. Where is your national origin? Where is your national origin? National origin, national origin, national origin. My national origin is Japan. My gender is man. My gender is man. My gender is man. The rules are different according to the creed. The rules and way of thinking are different depending on the creed. What is the most important thing in life in your creed? What do you try to not to do? What do you try not to do in your creed? What are regarded as rude in your creed? What are regarded as rude in your creed? Creed. What are the things we shouldn't do in your creed? What are things prohibited in your creed? What are the things you try not to do in your creed? Honesty pays off in his creed. Honesty make good in the long run, in the future, pays off in my creed. Honesty make good. Honesty makes good. Honesty makes good. Honesty pays off in my creed. Equality should be guaranteed in everything. Equality is guaranteed in the ramen restaurant. Even Prime Minister have to wait in the line to eat ramen. Even Prime Minister doesn't have the privilege to eat ramen without waiting in the queue. This is the policy of the ramen restaurant. 3-year free fix is guaranteed in the shop to every product the customers buy. The guarantee 2-year free fixment to the customers who have purchased the product from the shop. The store guarantees 2-year free fix with some exceptions to the customers who have bought the product. The current constitution was enacted in 1946 and came into effect, take effective in 1947 as far as I know. I will let you go outside as long as you come back by 5 o'clock. I was also said I could go outside as long as I get back by 5 o'clock p.m. It's too early now. Constitution comes first. Nothing is go beyond Constitution. Constitution is the highest in rule, administration. Constitution comes first and highest in administration. Do you know the guy leaning against the wall? Have you seen the Statue of Liberty? Have you seen the Statue of Liberty? Have you seen the Statue of Liberty? The architect used to gaze at all the architecture from morning to the evening until the Buddhist monks felt strange. Do you know the guy leaning against the pillar? Leaning against the pillar, leaning on the pillar. Don't lean on me with a lot of duties. Don't lean on me with such a thing, with such things, with such things, such things, with such things, such things, such things, with such things. One of the reasons why the rent of the apartment is low is that the apartment is leaned. One of the reasons why the apartment is reasonable is that the apartment is leaned. If you can accept that, you can rent it for the reasonable price. Who is the guy leaning against the pillar? 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 The feature of the pillar is called entasis. The both edges are cut a little sharper, and the center is more fat. This gives us the impact of strongness. The feature of the pillar is called entasis, which is the technique to cut the tree. The both sides up and down are cut a little sharper than the center to give us the impact of the strength of the tree, of the pillar. Gazing at something with for a long time might be the curiosity of that. We might be able to know our curiosity of something by observing ourselves. If we look at something for a long time, it might be the sign of the curiosity. What are you gazing at? What are you gazing at? What are you gazing at? The fans were gazing at the idol on the stage. The fans were staring at the idol on the stage. The fans were staring at the idol on the stage. The fans were gazing at the idol on the stage. The fans were gazing at the idol on the stage. The fans were gazing at the idol on the stage. The fans were gazing at the idol on the stage. I remember gazing at a plane flying in the sky from the campus, not concentrating on the lecture. I remember staring at the planes flying in the sky from the window of the classroom when I was a student. I should have concentrated on the lecture though. Have you seen the Statue of Liberty? Liberty, 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 liberal arts. Liberate. I want to be liberated. Liberty. Statue of Liberty. Great statue. Have you seen the great statue of Buddha in Todaiji Temple? Yes, it was so huge. Liberty, 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 liberty. As far as I know, there was a miniature Statue of Liberty in Odaiba, Tokyo. As far as I know, there is a mini version of Statue of Liberty. As far as I know, there is a miniature Statue of Liberty, smaller size of Statue of Liberty. Maybe half or a third of the size of Statue of Liberty in USA. A half or a third as big as the original Statue of Liberty in New York. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!